Liverpool are out of the title race. Namaste viewers and welcome to Radio Football, and this is the first statement that came to my mind after watching last night's game, Liverpool versus Leicester, which ended in a Leicester 1-0 victory at home. So here are some points that I took away from the game. So Liverpool dominated the ball, something that you expect them to do, and they did that quite well. They defended very well apart from the goal that they conceded. But what was quite unlike Liverpool yesterday was how they performed in the final third. Their forwards, Mane and Salah, just seemed a bit off. You know, Salah had a penalty in the first 15 minutes, I think, and it was a poor penalty. He has a brilliant record when it comes to taking penalties, but that was a poor penalty and brilliant save by Schmeichel, though. And the rebound comes onto him with a header, and he just rushes into it, heads it on over to the bar when it was a wide goal, gaping open, and he should have done much better with that chance, but he couldn't. He struck the ball onto the bar, it came back onto him, and then he slashed it wide. Then much later in the game, around I think it was 65th minute, in around that time period, Mane was one on one with the goalkeeper and he just blazed the ball over the bar. Should have done much better than that. So as I'm saying, Liverpool were quite off in that final third, and when multiple chances, they did create multiple chances, but they could have created even more chances had they not been a bit sloppy when it came to releasing that final ball, releasing that final pass. And Liverpool, if you talk about Leicester defended brilliantly. It was resilience personified from Leicester. Defended really well. Jamie Vardy just patiently waiting for the ball on the counter attack, had a couple of chances, and they got the goal in the end. Really good goal from Adam Lukman. Really well taken, brilliant finish inside. And after that as well, I think when they were beaten in the Carabao Cup, they wanted to just have revenge against Liverpool, and they showed that on the field. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall was brilliant. I had not heard much that name. He has been recently invigorated into the team, but he was brilliant last night. Leicester's midfield was much narrow, and it was a really tough job for Hamza Chowdhury and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall to take care of Tsimikas and Trent Alexander-Arnold, but they worked their socks off. So hats off to them. And if we talk about the title race, after 19 games, which is halfway, halfway of the Premier League, Man City are 6 points ahead of both Chelsea and Liverpool. It seems highly unlikely that Man City are going to lose three more games than either of Chelsea and Liverpool. And it seems that it's over. That's what came to my mind as well when I watched the game. But I don't think it's over just yet. It's still match week 19. Lots of twists and turns to come about, and the worrying thing for me when it comes to Liverpool is the African Cup of Nations, which is I think is scheduled to start in a couple of weeks. Players will be gone. Of course, their key players Salah and Mane will both be gone. Naby Keita as well for that competition, and the likes of Firmino, Jota, Minamino have to really step up their game, to fill their shoes, and that is where Liverpool could really be out of the title race. But apart from that, I think they're still in the title race at the moment. On the January the 2nd is Sunday. Chelsea play Liverpool. We'll learn a lot from that game as well. But as of now, the title race is still on. Now we move on to the second game that I saw today. It was Manchester United versus Newcastle. I couldn't watch the game live. I watched the repeat today. And you would expect Manchester United to just pick off Newcastle, get the 3 points, get the job done. Under the first three games under Ralph Ragnick, I think they all have been 1-0 wins if memory serves correctly. I think they have been all 1-0 wins. They haven't been great performance. Norwich was a poor performance, but they got the job done. They get 3 points, and that's what they couldn't do here. Manchester United was really poor. To say that they were poor would simply be an understatement. I mean, they were atrocious, absolutely atrocious when it came to keeping the ball, you know, inside the first half. They had the likes of Ronaldo, Rashford, Bruno, but they just couldn't get the ball up to them. There was no one who could get the ball up to them in the right areas. And they gave away the ball so cheaply. Fred, a really poor performance from him in the first half. Just casual passes, holding the ball for much longer than they should have. And fair play to Newcastle. They did not look like a team that were 19th in the league. They did not look like a team that were in the relegation zone. They did really well. They came out of their blocks, got the goal early on. Really good goal from Alan Sand Maximum. Lovely finish. But the goal can be put down to some really poor defending. Varane and Maguire just allow him to cut inside and have the finish that he likes. And then slowly Newcastle did drop off and Manchester United grew into the game, but they never were good enough to get the 3 points. They very easily could have been beaten. Alan Sand Maximum had a really good second half chance that he should have buried, but he couldn't do so. And poor performance of Manchester United. And I saw Guy Neville talking about it, the likes of Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes whinging about it. And I agree. I mean, you are Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo. Those are, two of the most senior players that are in that Manchester United dressing room when it comes to ability as well as maturity. Bruno's, I think, 28 or sorry, 26, sorry, 27 or 28 now. Ronaldo, of course, is 36. So you expect seniority from them, and they most of the time they just had their hands up in the air, looking at each other as if they weren't good enough, and that's not what you want from your team. They have to get better. They have to build a sort of a camaraderie, and we talk about top four. I think there are only three teams involved in that fight: Manchester United, Arsenal, Spurs. West Ham, it seems that the wheels have come off. I know they beat Watford 4-1, but still, did, was it Watford? Maybe it was Watford, but they did beat somebody 4-1. But it just seems like they won't have, the fuel to just run until the end of the season. And I think it's a three-horse race for that top four. And earlier we were thinking that, Manchester United with their depth in the squad could really just edge Arsenal and Spurs. But their performances have been poor. And I think at the moment it feels like Spurs are the favorites. I know I said a couple of weeks ago Manchester United are the favorites to get that top four spot. I know I do, but the performance have showed me otherwise. And it seems like Spurs and the Conte are doing a great job. I know they drew last night against, oh yeah, against Southampton, but they still haven't lost. And Arsenal, although they are on a bit of a run at the moment, four wins in four matches, but eventually it seems like they might, just drop off. While Spurs have an advantage in the form that they have Antonio Conte, a manager who is not only brilliant but also has done it in the Premier League, unlike Ralph Ragnick. And Ralph Ragnick is only here for 6 months. Antonio Conte is here long term, so the players have more belief in him, more belief in what he says, and it just seems Spurs might just edge it at the moment. Maybe 3 weeks later, I say something else. Maybe Arsenal, maybe West Ham come back into it, but at the moment it seems Spurs might just edge it. So that's all for today, guys. Like my video if you like what I said about these two matches and the Premier League. Subscribe for more of this, and until next time, this is Radio Football signing off.